Huh, it is this way. I think I gave myself a like by accident.
Sufficient or more?
Yeah. Well, one more coat. Because it'll air dry really fast. That's what I like about that stuff. We gotta fix this leg on the angle. Oh, we're gonna get started here in a few minutes, guys. A few minutes. The eyedropper of alcohol. Okay, we have this. Perfect. Yeah, it looks like hair. Doesn't look like hair.
You got me trying to figure out what the hell you're using it for.
Huh?
Got me trying to figure out what you're using it for.
We'll see. I need it painted first. Can't use it without it's painted. And it's good that it's wet, so you can use. Is it still wet?
It was when I just moved it.
Okay.
It's,
Okay, cool. So, I forgot the gloves. I did. Alright. It's very sticky. Let me get a first coat on here, actually. We'll do well.
fuck.
It's 7 o'clock? Wow. All right. We're on a good angle. Let's see.
So we move this.
Yeah, we gotta move some of the stuff here. Actually, let's move this tripod closer. I had it a little too far away. Should be good. Oh, much better. All right. So it is 7 o'clock. So we really should get going. Do you want to introduce yourself, Mr. Johnny?
You can introduce myself.
I can introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can
Well,
introduce myself.
Well, hey everyone. Welcome, welcome. It is Saturday. I am still waking up. I do work nights and I'm still waking up from my sleep. Hand me my coffee. I need some coffee if we're going to get started here. So this is Joe G with Touch of the Brush Model Weathering. And I welcome everybody to some easy, relaxing video on just showing some scenery techniques on just easy things you can do on your layout. And this is not my layout. This is my buddy Johnny's layout. He does incredible work with custom buildings, and he has a small business where he actually scratch built buildings for clients all over the country. And he's going to be very soon, right, an NMRA member.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can become an NMRA member. And so we're located here in Northwest Arkansas. So if anybody here is in the Arkansas region or in the Joplin area of Missouri, we're all part of that same division. It's called the Maple Leaf Division. And we welcome anybody here as an NMRA member who wants to become a member and join us. We're planning next year to have a train show that will be hosted by the Arkansas Missouri Railroad. And that is also going to feature, we're hoping to have other sponsors, including the NMRA. We're looking at Trains Magazine as well, which is true actually, and the Railroad Model Railroad Craftsman. and we're also looking to do clinics as well as some layout tours. And so far, we're on Johnny's permission and his family's permission, we could have this layout on tour during that train show, and that'll be in either January or February next year. And this is a 10 foot long, 16-inch wide switching layout that features the NSF, early BNSF of the Marion, Illinois, where you grew up, Johnny?
Yep.
Okay. And so we want to make this layout part of a series of live YouTube videos to show the progress of the layout, one, two, different scenery techniques, operations, because this is an operating layout. And so if you look here, we do have the main line. So this is the main line right here. This is the transload facility. This is the runaround. And here is we got a warehouse here. This is something that I painted and weathered, but I didn't build this. Now Johnny has started scratch building the rest of this building right here, and this is going to be another warehouse. So this is a warehouse track as well as a storage track for the warehouse. And so behind the camera, there are what, 8 locomotives, 6 locomotives.
Yeah, there's way more motive power than needed for this little 10-foot layout.
So in my personal collection and my layout, I am building an O scale diorama as well as an HO scale diorama, and I am converting down to N scale. We'll have an N scale layout, so there'll be a lot more videos to come. I've been in hiatus for a month just due to work, and just we're working on ideas and plans for the rest of the year and for next year for the model railroading, and been doing some stuff with NMRA, and also to have Touch of the Brush model weathering, which is my business, where I do custom weathering, painting, decal installments, detail installments, and all that good stuff. And so yeah, here's my card over here, and which is sort of cut off, but that's okay. And we have it right here, which is going to go on a billboard that Johnny is going to be scratch building. All right, so we're going to get started here. Now, Johnny asked me about 10 minutes ago, what do you think we should do as far as where we're going to put scenery? So obviously we got the track cover masking tape, so an easy $3 at the store, cover the track. And what I decided now in the past few minutes, the best thing to do is to cover this with some kind of base scenery. Now you can use a variety of different products. I tend to use natural material, and so we've got this huge container just off the side of a road, and this has been sifted out and that's just dirt and some rock. And so it has been sifted from bigger rocks. We have a box full of big rocks, and we obviously not going to use those big boulders because they're not really to scale, right? I don't think it will work. And so the first thing I like to do is, if you're not using paint, you can use glue, and we do have glue somewhere, correct? It's watered down glue, actually. Let's get that tub of glue. Now, we're talking about little techniques.
That tub of glue?
Yes, this tub of glue. So, on Amazon, you could get 2 gallons for $24 and free shipping in Amazon right now. So, it's well worth it to buy, especially doing scenery work.
Plus, you can refill your kids' school boots.
Exactly. So, we're going to open this bad boy up here, and we get it open, right? I think I did. Oh, there it is. This works. Okay. Get this open. I mean, due to the camera, it's hard to have my face on here. So, I'm gonna. The most important thing is.
The people don't want to see our.
No, they don't want to see my face. They'll see my face eventually. Now, we're going to keep this building here in the back, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start right here. And we're going to just get some glue. And you want to paint it on. One way to not use a lot of glue at once is if you are a little bit conservative,
Bluetooth pairing.
you can and here. And again, this is a very inexpensive technique I did use.
Power off.
There we go. Okay, onto that. And so that big tub of that free dirt and gravel, I sifted it a few times, and then you get all these old ground pepper seasoning containers. You can see how small the holes are here. And so you have some bigger rocks, it will be sifted again. And so what we're gonna do, since it's all railroad, this is all right away and track, we're gonna sprinkle on, and it's already conservative for you. So you don't have to use a lot or too less. And in Marion, because it's in Illinois, it's actually pretty close to the color of this dirt out there. And the very last thing you want to do is what? Ballast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you get some of that big rock, and that's okay. What we'll do is once that dries, you just rub the top off and you can take off some of that rock. And what's left holding down on that glue will be the really fine dirt. What I like to do as well is, see what the eyedropper is. I do have an eyedropper somewhere, but even like to add just a little bit of that rubbing alcohol. It spreads out the glue more even and dilutes the glue even more too. So here we have a mixture of water and glue, and I come back and see that's a little too thick. It could be a little too thick. I'll show you another technique and another easy way to use, and it's using hairspray. But let's add more of that. So all that's going to be all the same thing. So we're going. And we're outside in the garage. This is in the garage, and it's actually, this layout, guys, is a lot of fun to operate. We've done a half operating session, just a practice session a couple of weeks ago, before we even did the track work and finished, and it took us about an hour just to get the few cars switched out. And we're gonna work on some articles for some of the long railroading social media magazines. We're working on a bunch of different kind of things for NMRA as well. And we're going to feature this layout, my layout, and my friend's layout out of Nashville, Tennessee. He models the Pennsylvania Railroad in the mid to early 1940s. Okay, so now you got that glue down there. Come back. I'm not going to worry about inside because that building is going to be covered. The track is going to be covered. And here's another easy way to, another technique you can use is for $1 is hairspray. And since the track is covered, you just spray this over. Since it's now sticky on top as well as the bottom, you could come back just add another coat. Now what I like to do are layers, and just like when I do my weathering work and painting work, you add layers. And so this is just the one layer. This is just your base. That's all we're gonna do. Okay. Now I don't know if anybody's seen some videos of their personal friends of mine on here or what. We're blasting some metal music and just upright lab. We're having a good old time doing that a couple weeks ago. Okay. Come back. Do another coat. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it here just yet. Okay. And that should harden. Okay, now I'm going to do it inside here. Add some more nickel. Another cup of coffee here. Now I like to do is blend. So like this is the base. Let's see here. I'm gonna add hairspray again. Here it is. Guys, like I never knew you could use hairspray. And actually, you know who uses hairspray? If anybody remembers Stephen Priest, he is a famous Santa Fe Emporia Sub HO Scale Lab. And now I think he works for Scale Trains, if I'm not mistaken. Now we're getting towards the bottom of this. So, okay, now they're just big rocks. So what I do is I have this big tub here. And just hold that big rock. There we go. There we go. Now, there you can use you want to really get that nice and flat. Just dab it with a foam brush all the way down. Excuse the shakiness. Okay. And see how that dries. If not, then you can always sprinkle that on too. And see how it doesn't, if you see if I just use the glue without using that rubbing alcohol, it just spots, it's just spotting here. You can see how it all separates. and flows and splits. And so that's why it's important to use rubbing alcohol, especially when you're doing your ballast work. And it's fairly, I think like $2 at the store. And it will dry fairly clear. Now you can see how it spreads a little better. Now the next step after that is obviously ballast and all those things. What I'm gonna do here is we have this building here. I added some glue on the bottom, and so the next step to do over there, let's see. Just get it straight. Yeah. See, it bubbles up, which we don't like. And actually, the glue probably needs to be more diluted. It needs to be probably shaken up a bit too. Shake this up a bit. You can also use a Loctite spray adhesive is another good one, but it's fairly expensive. That hairspray was only $1. There we go. Now you could come back, I think, we'll mix some of this very fine, really gray, and this is natural stone material as well. And actually, let's see what that is here. Make sure. Actually, yeah, we're gonna switch little containers. And same with these guys, even pill bottles work just as well. I like using pill bottles, hold the smallest of things, especially very fine material. I'm gonna start having videos, edited videos again. I'm gonna start working on it this weekend. Last couple months it's just been nuts with work and then moving and building new layouts and dioramas. And Johnny, they lost their house in a flood, and so this is their new home, and so we're building a brand new layout for him. And I'll tell you, it's fun to operate. It really is a lot of fun to operate. It's got some nice motive power. We got some early BNSF and Burlington Northern Jeeps and Conrail. So here, there's a little bit lighter color. It's like a dust, but it's very, very fine. So I like to go over this. So you kind of got to blend a different color. thing is, this is too fine, and so it'll just run off and run away, run off and just disappear on the layout. So I have the other base as a the other kind of stone underneath this as a base will help solidify and then hold this one in place. And you want different grades of rock for different things. So for gravel roads, gravel or rock along the side of a road, you need certain rocks or boulders. Certain sizes for that are good for your rock under your rock faces. So we're not gonna do anything over here, right? This is gonna be concrete.
It's all going to be concrete.
Okay.
Yeah, styrene built,
Styrene.
scratch built concrete.
Now you used the material before. What was that?
I actually did some roadway with this is a art foam.
Yeah.
You can buy that at Hobby Lobby. You can get it in 1 millimeter and 2 millimeter thickness, and actually, with a little bit of weathering and some really good paint markers, you can actually make that look very, very convincing as a roadway with some little simple like colored pencils and such. It's really easy to cut, really easy to use,
Yeah.
and scoring it and so on and so forth. As simple as just using an ink pen, but they're about $1 a sheet for like a 8x12 sheet, and it goes a long way. The only reason I decided not to do it on this layout is honestly I wanted to try the styrene.
So we're gonna do styrene. Excellent. Excellent. Are we satisfied how this is looking?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I did was I used the under, because this is like dust. I used that rock underneath, so you get a little bit of color.
Right.
And then above it, I used more of the gray, very fine.
Right.
On that. Now all this is going to be just ballast and gravel.
Yeah, it's gonna be real light ballast because obviously we're not using roadbed or anything like that because honestly, look at any rail yard as you know,
Yeah.
your yard tracks or anything like that, they're not elevated, they're flat even with the ground, so less ballast this way too.
Okay. True.
Just have to
That
use a
works.
more fine, use like an N scale fine ballast in order to make it look right.
And do you want to do tall grass over here too? I think a tall grass right here would look
Yeah.
really cool to separate the runaround and the main line from the industry.
Yeah, we're gonna do some static grass on this, which might be another video.
Yes.
Because that's definitely something that has become very popular. And we're going to do a little bit of ground coverage. There'll be some green in there. One of the things about my hometown too was that the tracks, they're used maybe once, twice a week. So you'll get a lot of grass and weeds and stuff growing in between the ties and the rails. So it looks very unkempt, but it's still used. That railroad, the Crab Orchard and Egyptian, which is now Progress Rail, but they have dedicated industries that have been there since the 40s and 50s.
Wow.
And obviously service has dwindled off, but yeah, the town, the CONE intersects between the BNSF and the Union Pacific, depending on what side of town you're on. But so we took a little bit of liberty with this, but I wanted to make it as close to home as possible. And there's a lot of these buildings that'll look just like some of the buildings from my hometown. So the only thing you won't see is a bright blue and yellow SW1000, and CONE paint.
So they don't have any Progress Rail colors yet, or is it just
Progress Rail
Crab
colors
Orchard?
look like Mopac colors. It's literally like Mopac blue with a whitish silver stripe.
Oh, okay.
And the first time I saw it, I went, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Progress Rail's typical color, and their herald is like like a kind of like a diamond, um, and it's just a red logo, says Progress Rail in fancy script. Um, but yeah, other than that, yeah, it's just Mopac blue and silver, a whitish silver stripe. I actually think it's reflective, but
Probably reflected nowadays.
yeah, they still use. Now it's a SW12 because they got rid of the SW1 and the SW9 they had. Unfortunately, the SW1 had major motor failures, so it got scrapped. Unfortunately, and then the other one went to South Africa or something like that. But then they replaced it with an SW1200 in Progress Rail paint.
Nice.
So it's pretty snazzy, but it wasn't uncommon to see, you know, especially south of Marion, it wasn't uncommon to see, you know, the Cascade green and black, or you know, Santa Fe war bonnets, you know, anything like that, you know, mixed with UP on top of it, because a little south of the town I grew up in, the UP main and the BNSF main merged into single track main for about a good 60 miles south.
Huh.
So it's nothing
Yeah.
like having 12 coal trains a day and not knowing whether it was BN or UP.
It had to be fun though.
Yeah, I mean, growing up there was a siding for BNSF, but we'd always go sit at because it was honestly, it was close to home, and my dad being a firefighter, he had a scanner and figured out the frequencies for the BN crews. So anytime we'd hear one pulling into what they called Nielsen Junction, which is where the UP and the BN interchanged, they had a siding long enough for a 150 car coal train with
Nice.
4 or 5 motors on the front of it, and we'd always run down there, and it afforded me some really cool memories. You know, I mean, getting to see, you know, the BN executive SD70s. You know,
You
right
should
off
tell
the bat.
them about the story and how you actually drove an SD70 Mac in BN colors.
So
Brand new.
Yeah, I was probably about 6 or 7, maybe 8. I'm not quite sure, but anyways, it was right about the time they came out with the BN executive scheme, and there were still manned helpers on this route that we lived on, because from where the Nielsen Junction was, where the UP and the BN merged, it was I think it was I want to say 3.5 to 4% grade up over 12 miles. It was massive enough they needed helper service, and so they'd always send one
Oh, good catch.
football. Sorry for
Sorry,
the
guys.
earthquake there.
Yeah. I told you, almost took out the whole audience.
Everybody just got shook. But anyway, so they had to set band helpers down there at the end of that siding, and me and Dad went down one day, and sure enough, sitting down at the end is a brand spanking new shiny executive scheme SD70 Mac, and we pulled up and we're kind of sitting there waiting to see what would happen, and out walks somebody out of the nose and walks up to us, and sure enough, it was an engineer that had seen me and my dad out there quite often. He comes out, he says, we got a coal train coming in, we're going to hook up to it and show up the hill. He goes, if you guys got about an hour and a half, he goes, you guys want to ride? Of course, me and Dad cleared our schedules as fast as we could. So we pushed the coal train up the hill, and stopped and cut off, and I'm sitting behind the conductor seat. My dad's sitting in the jump seat in the middle of the cab, and the engineer, he looks at me, tucked back in the corner, and says, "You know what? Come here." He goes, "I want you to push this button." It indicates, pushing, a button on the control panel, and I look at my dad and look at the engineer and look back at my dad and walk over, hit the button, and then run back to my seat. To which the engineer just laughed because he thought it was funny. He gets up out of his chair and tells me, he's like, "No, you come over here and have a seat over here." Like I'm gonna show you how to drive this thing. Because you're gonna get us back to you're gonna get us back home. So he showed an 8-year-old kid how to control an SD70 Mac. Told me, he said, track speed through here is 19 miles an hour. Keep it under 19. Well, here's the horn button for the crossings, and let it rip, tater chip. And that was obviously before CAD cameras.
Yeah, I was definitely. I sometimes ask my engineer, said, "Hey, can I get on behind the controls?" And he points like cameras. I'm like, "Oh, man."
But yeah, he let me drive it all the way back, and as soon as we were done, as soon as we got it parked and set up, got the brakes set, he's like, "You actually did pretty good there." And of course, I'm about 9 shades of red.
Oh yeah.
Of course, as an 8-year-old, I just drove a 340,000 pound locomotive.
Good old days.
Yeah, I came away with not only the memories of driving that thing, but also they handed me a BN track warrant book, and they handed me one of their spare air hoses, and so we had some souvenirs from that day. I guess it was luck though too, because that same engineer saw us, all the time. And so he let me, because of him, we were able to get up in SD40-2s and C30-7s and something like that. He'd always give us something cool anytime we'd go up that, remind us of being on, there in the locomotive. But yeah, that was my childhood. The CONE, that we're kind of modeling. That I'm trying to model with this layout. They would do the same thing. If they'd see you out there, they're like, "Come on, you can ride with us. Get up in the cab."
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Too much FRA rules and regulations.
Oh yeah. Well, it's also the agony and misery. So.
That's true. Well, FRA is just FRA.
Yeah, FRA is FRA, but on top of FRA.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a former railroad employee from there too, so.
That's true. Yeah, we do. You used to work for the railroad, and I mean the same railroad as I work for now. So. It's dusty, so the hairspray would work and sometimes won't work on here. And so now what I'm doing is, again, this is just the base cover, and that's it. And then we're gonna go layer on top of here with more scenery, more work. And right here, Johnny's not sure what he's gonna put over here just yet. Obviously some kind of structure, but it's definitely gonna be something worthwhile because his skills are amazing.
No, you're too kind.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna have some live scratch building videos because Johnny is gonna be scratch building some layouts for my N-scale layout.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
You've never done N-scale before. You've done O-scale and HO, right?
Yeah, I mean, cutting the N-scale stuff just less material, but that's not what is challenging to me about it. The challenging thing is modeling the era. My scratch building stuff is modeling more modern stuff. Like I was building Blockbusters and Pizza Huts and stuff of that nature. And now I'll be building something for like the 50s and 60s.
Yeah. So yeah, my layout I was going to do 40s and 50s, but because N-scale is very hard to find stuff in that era, I need to stretch it out just a little, expand all the way to like almost 60s, almost emergent era. So here's another technique that I do. We're going to do more videos like this. I got a lot of rock scenery work I'm going to be doing on some other dioramas. So this is more just yard-based work, which we're doing right here. This is just some very fine turf from Woodland Scenics. It's a blended turf, almost like a spring with some green and some dead grass in here. And so you don't want to sprinkle all of it on one shot because it does not look realistic at all. And since this is a rail yard, okay, it's not really kept too much. And since it's going to be, again, just base scenery, I'm going to be adding a lot of bushes and tufts and we call it tall grass. This is just going to be a base.
Yeah, tall grass.
And
just
so
here.
you just want to sprinkle it over just to get a little bit of that color in there and away from the track. Yeah, even though it's a building, it may be a building here, at least it's done for now and it looks good for video and running purposes.
Yeah, operational purposes would be nice.
And you want to get a little more towards the road, because the road is going to come right over here off the camera, just a little bit. And have it fly by.
Yeah. This will be the biggest challenge is this layout's in my garage at the end of the day, and it's not totally insulated. I mean, I can close the doors up and open my door to the inside and turn my AC up, but it gets fairly cool in here. But predominantly when we're out here messing with things, it's the garage doors open. We've got ambient noises. I'm sure you guys are hearing in the background. Plus, we've got a lot of stuff to work around. There's a full set of drums in here, guitar equipment.
We're musicians, model railroaders, nerds, and all spectrums.
If it has a motor and wheels, typically we like it.
Yeah.
Even if it just has one or the other.
Or cymbal stands or guitar strings.
So. Yeah. And if it can make loud racket.
What I like to do right here, cut this out a little bit, make a little ditch, a tall grass in each end.
Yeah.
We could do that. That's a good idea. And guys, this is like impromptu. We're just going along and seeing what we can do.
Yeah, the one thing that I've noticed with at least my past few layout builds, just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
The nice thing that's the one nice thing about foam over. Like my last railroad was Homasote, and that was really nice, especially for getting tracked down and weathering. And the scenic work wasn't bad, but this time it was foam because it was quick and it was easy. And quite honestly, with the foam, you can carve some stuff out of it. If you want to make a ditch, you can make a ditch. If you want to make, if we wanted to carve out roadbed out of this, technically we could.
Absolutely.
It all comes down to what comes out of your mind or what you see in your mind and translating it to your hands.
Or prototype.
Yeah. I mean, we all have modeler's license, so don't ever be afraid to just model whatever the heck you like.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, the hobby is all about just having fun, and if it's not fun, then why are we doing it? That's why I always teach Joey. He comes over here on this weekends, and we'll run an op session or whatever, and I'll be on the control stand, and Joey's down there switching cars. And I'm like, man, that's like nothing like leaving work to go back to work.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I do for a living, and now I do it on the model railroad, but it's fun. Because, you make a mistake, there's no fatalities.
Yeah. At least if we derail here, it's easy to put something up.
Yeah. We're going to try and move this camera back a little further now, if you don't mind. Ooh, actually, I need this. That's what I need.
Sorry, internet folks. I don't know how many of you are still on there, but hopefully.
Now, let's say you don't like something a certain color, especially gravel, ballast, if you buy like Woodland Scenics and all those kind of things. Over here. There we go. I wish this thing was so zoomed in. I wish I was able to zoom it out, which I don't know. Hey, Pirates of the Model Trains. Hey, Mickey. Is that your name, Mickey? How you doing, buddy? Glad you guys can make it out here. And yeah, it was impromptu. We thought about this like 2 days ago. It's like, hey, let's do some live videos.
It's literally something that we were like, you know what, we got to do this stuff anyways because we want to try and have this ready for layout tours, the beginning of next year. So that way we can have some people out and do some, come do some little operating sessions and so on and so forth. So it needed to be done. In my mind, I wanted to have most of this done and get a few operating sessions on the layout before I handed the controls to someone else. But yeah, so it's a little short notice, and we're just kind of throwing it by ear. But hopefully, you guys are learning some stuff and enjoying the back and forth and the info.
Okay, so again, there's my camera here. So we have a little bit of this here. Just all you want to do. This is more green, and we're going to add more on the edges here. I mean, yes, it's near the track. And again, what's good about scenery work, it's very forgiving. So if you don't like it, just go over it with something else. More ballast, more rock, or more grass, whatever.
And if you
I
build
think
it,
the tall grass here would look really cool.
and if you build it up too high, then you, instead of using styrene for the roads, you use your your roadway kit from Woodland Scenics, or
Yeah.
you do the foam method like I did. 2 millimeters cover quite a lot.
And here's an idea. This is a trick that I didn't know. I didn't think about this. And Johnny had a great idea. It is a great idea. He actually painted the road to line out where he wants his road. So instead of just marker lines, he actually painted it. And so you know exactly what your scenery is going to look like. You know how your road shape is going to look like. You know where your terrain is going to look like. And so it just makes it that much simpler when you're working here. Because I know exactly what to do based on just stuff being painted here. And I'm going to do that with my diorama. I actually started doing that with
Yeah.
some of the
Well, the nice thing is
Yeah.
too is even when it's still a plywood central, or a Homosote, Harbor Railroad or something like that, when it's just plain plywood or Homosote or foam or whatever, even if you just paint in a little things here and there, it gives you more of an experience. Just adding some color in there, really makes a difference. And the nice thing is it's cheap paint. It takes little to no time to just brush it on and get a color, and then you got some color around your trains instead of just having bright blue or.
See, I already messed
pink.
up. I don't like that because it's too big, way too big. That's O scale. So we'll take that and I'll put it in my hand, and back in the jar it goes. And see, exactly, just forgiving.
All it is a little cleanup work.
Smells,
Rather a little-
actually, no, it
ra-
still smells like pepper.
Rather a little cleanup work than having to replace a whole section of foam.
Guys, don't be afraid to make the mistake. Don't be afraid to correct it either. I'm telling you, it's
Yeah, trial and error is the biggest thing. Just if you can try it, if you don't like it, at least you tried it and you learned you don't like it. What's the saying? Thomas Edison didn't learn or he didn't fail 997 times trying to make a light bulb. He learned 997 ways not to make one.
yes.
And that's very much how you can look at it in this perspective, because the more and more you try, if you don't like the color, worst comes to worst, scrape it off. If it's thin, then add a little other color. But just don't be afraid to try and do some trial and error to see what you come up with, because that's where some of the best stuff comes out, and that's where you learn.
And what did Bob Ross always say?
Happy little trees.
That and what else?
Oh, man.
Happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents. Yep, that's.
And I guarantee you, you see all these major layouts, they'll tell you. What's that? Pepper?
Ballast.
Oh.
So
So
you're-
it's pepper from this. This thing's brown black pepper, and I smelled the pepper.
This super fine N-scale ballast. You were
see,
looking
there's
for
a
a
lot-
dark. You were looking for a dark color in there.
Uh-huh.
There's not enough of this to go around to
No.
go all the way around it, but
Throw it in there. All right, so we're gonna make a ditch, right?
yeah.
And so what we're gonna do, where is that? The filer.
The defiler.
Yes.
Uh,
Very easy to make a file.
It was right around here somewhere.
Meantime, so what we're gonna do. We're gonna add some green to there too. Before we do that, okay. So this is like more of an O scale size. And guys, when they say HO ballast, go N scale. If it says O scale ballast, go HO. It's more realistic. And the way you make it, when you see it's realistic, get a figure. Like if you mind HO, have an HO figure and see how big the rock is. I mean, rock is always gonna be slightly a little bigger, but even like this fine dust and stuff that you can find off the side of a road somewhere, super easy. And that's how you can tell how much you're now.
I mean-
Don't
This may be tiny there, but
yeah, like these little rocks may be tiny, but you put a figure next to it, they're boulders. you know.
Now all of a sudden, yeah, you've got a rock you're going to break your ankle on.
So yeah, so what we're gonna do is right here. Looks like a buff foam. We're gonna shape out a little ditch. Glue in here, but I put glue in here. I was like, ah, let's change it up a bit.
See, that goes right back to don't be afraid to waste a little material. You need sustenance. It's like a drink.
Yes, I would like a drink of something. It is. We're in the garage and it's pretty warm in here.
Still in the 80s.
It's still in the 80s in this garage. No, we don't. Yeah. So, now, don't throw this out if you don't need to. If you have this large layout, don't ever throw this material out. Again, it's okay to waste material, but again, you don't have to waste material either. And I'll show you why. We're gonna save that blue. No, or at least throw it out, but I have something to. I just want to scrape this out just a little bit. Yeah, I can't believe I'm actually going to have 3 different kinds of scales in my place. But when you have a business, you need to represent all the scales you work with. I mean, I don't have a Z scale layout, although I came close to having a couple of Z scale clients. They're working on other projects at the moment, but I am really getting into the N scale now. So yeah. Now, and then, so you got that. Now to smooth that out, very, very easy. Actually, gotta move over a little bit. I can't reach. Get this stuff right here. That's called sandpaper. And also another scenery technique. If you could spray the gloss off of this. This would actually be good for gravel roads too, if you find the really coarse kind of ballast.
Like
I mean, grit, yeah, a coarse grit.
Yeah.
It'll be really good for roads, especially for N scale. That was tasty. I'll be sweating. I'm already sweating.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So rip a little piece. I'm gonna go in here and clean it.
God forbid any brakemen ever come out that side of the motor.
What?
So God forbid a conductor or anybody ever tries to get off that side of the motor in that area.
Oh, they were done for.
Yeah.
I've done that. You guys see how thick they are on ABCs?
Oh, yeah.
By the mason industry over there? Jeez. And it's all tall grass. You'll fall into that thing, into the abyss.
That was OTI for a while too.
Oh yeah, they built it up. They built up that industry. Yeah, if folks don't know, I think a lot of folks do know. I am a freight conductor. So, and Johnny.
I used to service and maintain our local railroads, passenger excursion service cars.
Yeah. So we do have railroad experience, and that's gonna be a fun video. So what we're doing is here, we're gonna smooth out the sides, so we don't have such a very straight edge on along the edges here. And guys, don't worry about it being so coarse. It doesn't have to be smooth, but just.
By the time you lay any kind of ground cover in.
Oh yeah. Should have thought about this before doing the scenery. Oh well. Be all right. Well, what's good about this tape? It's actually all that blue is sticking to the tape, so it works out. Okay, let me get the brush, just clean it out a little bit. Or if you can't vacuum, would be the best thing.
Yeah,
You have a straw? You can just suck it with a straw, I guess.
I don't really want to.
No, I don't either.
My lungs can't take that. Plus, I don't really feel like getting pelted in the back of the throat with a, feet
no,
foam.
no, it'd be rather gross. I don't think it'll work. Okay, you want to clean this off. Okay, now we're going to come back and don't worry about the color of the paint. You just want something just to give some kind of color in that, get rid of that blue.
You know, unless you're trying to model Antarctica.
Yeah. No. You want to get all in the crevices. Okay, now since it's still wet, here's another fantastic. Let's see if I can find it. I'm just calling it fantastic. I don't know what it's called, and I have it somewhere. Aha. So, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is crushed live tree, crushed leaves, which is great for the fall and great for the beds of your creek beds, your river beds, and even what we're doing here, a ditch. I said, don't worry about the color. Just the color is not really important here in this circumstance. And you can just pinch in your fingers and crush it even more if you need to. Okay.
Different perspective.
Different perspective.
This is
Johnny's actually watching this live on his phone while I'm recording it on my phone.
Is this Inception?
It can be. Now, if Joe watches it on his phone from watching on your. Now, if he records you watching it on your phone, that's even further.
Oh,
Yeah, we got to stop then, right?
fourth wall break, man. Fourth wall break.
And I ran out of brushes. I thought I had a third brush. Did I? Oh, you got foam brushes. That's what I'm looking for. I was looking for that. Thank you. That's for the. I was going to use it for the. What do you call that stuff? Rubbing alcohol.
We're probably going to highlight this with some bright greens eventually. Take it with the tufts of grass.
Yeah. So now you get the bed inside, that's covered. And when you put your realistic waters in there, or you use Mod Podge. Mod Podge is actually, could be a little more less expensive, and you can add that in there, and that's another good idea. So, okay, let's say you don't have a vacuum cleaner. You don't have a blower. You don't have a brush. But
Tape.
you use the tape.
Doesn't matter whether it's masking tape, scotch tape, packing tape.
No
duct
electric tape. I don't think electric tape will work, right?
It'll work. It's just getting a big roll of electric
So you
tape.
roll it up and you want to clean the edges off. The well, Try not to do that.
Trying to pull up half the masking.
Yeah. Get some of those fine blues out of there. Okay. You go back in. Your glue. And then, actually I think I did this backwards. You can probably alcohol. Eyedroppers are the best thing to use. Eyedroppers. Get a little of that. It would. Okay. There we go. Right. All right, so that's in there. On the edges, a little more of that glue. Now, paint's a good adhesive as well. If you really want to save money, can't find glue. So, we'll do, here it is.
It was a sound of a crescendo.
Now, did you know you actually use glue? You can actually use white glue in here too, and that would
'Cause it'll
solidify, dry clear, and it's just the right amount for look like it's been wet. Same thing, guys. If you're using your rocks and you want rocks to look wet, use regular clear glue and just wipe down the rocks. It's kind of like you're doing your weathering with your rust streaks. If you do it on rocks, or you dab your rocks with glue, it will have a sheen to it. Or you could probably just use matte clear or not gloss, a little bit of gloss clear, but it doesn't look right. It looks too glossy.
The glue is it gives you puddles.
Right, right. The
You
glue
can't
does
get
give you
puddles with a
puddles.
spray can.
No.
Well, you can, but then it becomes everything's a puddle.
Yes,
Whose puddle is it anyways? You know, that's what it becomes.
right. Now a little bit of rock here inside. And that's that. Now we're talking about all that old is blue, right? I got a bunch of it right here. And here's another technique for making rocks. Let's say you can't find rocks anywhere, nowhere it could be found, and you're carving your blue or you're carving your foam. I have here from my carvings a whole bag, and so what you do is you take some paint and water mix, you put it in the bag here, and you shake it up. Pour it again, keep shaking it up, and then you will have your rock colors that you like. And then after that, after you glue all that down and you spray it down, you can come back with a spray paint. If there's a spray paint of a color you like with your spray paint, you spray it over it. Or you can use an airbrush or weathering powders to give it a different kind of different tonalities and different colors of your rock to make it look more realistic. So there's another simple, easy idea technique you can use.
It's all layers.
Layers, yeah. We're doing here layers. This is just the base layer.
It's just like weathering for rust. You have to have a base layer, you know, and your rust isn't all just dark brown. You know, you're gonna have light browns and oranges, and sometimes greens for things that have oxidized, and so everything is done in layers.
So actually, we could put this building back up just So,
We're not Lance Meinheim or Bell Solder or anything like that, but
you know who one guy that did get it right, and if you, I forget the name of the podcast, but Brian McClendon from the Virginia and Ohio, his dad Alan McClendon, they got it right, and that's what is so famous. It's because they actually everybody looks at the trains when they go rail fighting. Look at the contours of the rocks. Look at the way the terrain is, and where you at the track side. I mean, we have technology today that you can use Google Maps. You can use your what do you call it? Well, Google Earth, where everything's 3D. If you have a drone, use your drone. Take pictures of what stuff looks above. All these colors that we're working with here is what Marion looks like. And actually, we're doing springish,
yeah,
spring, early
roughly.
summer.
Yeah, we wanted some greens in there, so
Right, there's a lot of green. You saw those photos.
right,
We took
right.
screenshots
I mean,
from
we've got
Google
some,
Maps.
We've got some stuff here that's actually that stuff right there in that canister.
Yeah.
That super dark green, we're gonna have some bright greens in there.
Yeah, because all that is really, that's all there in the
And you
spring.
just want to sprinkle that stuff over top of a lot of things. You don't want the whole thing to be that color because it looks very uniform. And grass is not uniform unless it's something that is like a golf course. And
No,
we're not trying to build a golf course here.
Shaved my head, and so we use real hair. No, not really. This is polyfiber that you can buy for stuffed animals and pillows. And what we did, I had Johnny spray this down. It was wet already, and so while the spray paint was wet, I added the green on top, and there you go. There's your green. And this is stuff you could break apart. You can use it for vines, and you can see how there's some white in here still. And you can use these for bushes. So, I don't know if we can actually put that here or not, but let's say we want to put a right here. Okay. Even if we'll use this, you don't want to make it too bushy. And then,
It's not the 70s.
yes, that's.
Sorry, there's my dirty joke for the night.
That's why it's not made for kids, just in
If
case.
there's any younger kids, I'm sorry. If there's any parents with younger kids watching this, I apologize.
So. So there's your bush. Now, you come back with your hairspray, spray it down. And this coarse stuff actually works really well. And now you have a nice looking bush. And I would say that whole big bag of polyfiber was $15 on eBay with free shipping.
You guys will see as we progress with this series that a lot of the things that we're using are stuff that you can go to Hobby Lobby or any Joann's Fabrics or anything like that, and you can buy for a couple dollars and turn it into stuff you can use on your layout. In order to do things cheap, sometimes we have to think outside of the box.
Yes, we don't. No one is made of money nowadays. It's not. Oh, right, we're gonna move this a little bit more now towards this direction. You can see the rest of the layout. That's filled and stuff to the artist, stuff with trains.
Yeah, I had to move. Instead of taking everything off, I just moved everything to the other side of the layout.
Excuse me, guys. I don't think it's gonna work. Let's see.
See a little bit of it.
That works. Actually, that's exactly what I want. I want to. Excuse me. All right. Exactly what I want to do. Okay.
I move this over.
Now, here's another technique here. So now we have, again, I did it. Put all my whole thing of water is full of foam and dirt and stuff. Oh, well, I'll drink it anyway.
I mean, being a railroader, being a actual railroaders and mechanics and stuff like that, you're going to eat some grease
Yeah.
and some dirt. I mean,
So is this going to stay right here?
yeah, and actually, I stuck it there when
Oh!
the paint was still dry, still
It's
wet.
stuck.
And it stuck.
Okay, cool. It's staying there.
So the
Sweet.
paint's kind of
Okay.
held it into place too, and that's a nice thing when you use a little bit of paint. And all I'm using, all we're using paint wise is just this little apple barrel stuff.
Where? Walmart?
Yeah, little apple barrel stuff that you can use from Walmart or anything of that nature. And you just get ground colors. And it's, $1, 50 cents, $1.25, something like that. And the paint goes a long way. And like in this case, you see the little electrical box that's right there. And I put that on there when the paint was still wet and let it dry. And now it's pretty much permanently fixed there. I mean, you could get it off of there, but you might take some foam with it. But what you're seeing here is the lead from the main into the engine storage track.
Oh, well, we're going to make this really weeded, right? You want to put this weeded?
This is going to be pretty heavily weeded, just because, like I said, we're trying to model the railroad that I grew up with a little bit of liberty. Like I said, the CONE is where we're taking a lot of the inspiration for the colors and the scenery off of, but CONE stuff isn't exactly obtainable. And quite honestly, I'm more of a BNSF fan anyways. You'll see, I'm sure, in a few little instances, you'll see some Conrail blue in here. And it's just because, it's got some, Conrail had some really nice equipment. And to be deathly honest, a lot of it was stuff that, Joey had weathered. And I had the opportunity to purchase some of it from him. And so I couldn't justify not trying to grab some of it because he does amazing work. A while back, Joey weathered my big boy. And that's a video that you can look up and watch. It's a fantastic video. Joey is freaking, amazing when it comes to that stuff. He's taught me a lot of how to do some weathering, so it's definitely informative. So if you guys get a chance, you want to go back and some of that stuff, if you haven't watched it, please, check that out. Another locomotive we have here that Joey weathered was a Denver Rio Grande GP40. And so getting to see those things, is really cool. Taking something from being brand new to being, nice and weathered and look like it's been in service for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Or in my case, a lot of this stuff's been in service for 30 or 40 years.
That's true. Especially when you model. Well, that's what I like about short lines.
We need to pull more of those off the can.
Yeah, we'll move the BN motor. Oh yeah. Forgot we could do that now. That's cool.
Yeah, Joey's convinced me to make this a shadow box, so we're doing the weathering and the scenicking first before I build the rest of the shadow box. But the one nice thing about that is it also provides some above layout storage.
Yes, absolutely.
And when you're like me and I can't pass up a good deal, and I'm blessed to have some really good friends who have gifted me things, it kind of turns into, oh wow, I went from having a little collection to, like I said, way more motive power than I need to move around my little cars. I'm also coming off a 23 foot
that's
by
why.
16 foot around walls layout too. So this
See if we can-
switching layout's a little different.
Keep shaking this, guys. I'm trying to adjust this. And now our friend Joe weathered this control box, which came out awesome. This is his first time weathering it. I'm like, you're hired. He does phenomenal custom painting work, and what mechanical work.
Yep.
It's what his thing is. Okay, so that's some ballast, some gravel, now this, guys, this is sawdust. That's it. That's just sawdust. And do the edges here.
And we're gonna get into some of the when we get into some of these other videos. We're gonna do some detail work where, like, it goes back to he's using sawdust right now. Sawdust is free to cut up trees, and so it's all about what you can model on a budget. And we're gonna do some videos on how to make some things on a budget that are very scale and very very appropriate looking, like chain link fences and gates. And
Oh
so
my
on.
gosh,
So-
I can't believe we're gonna do that. I'm excited for that because I've never done that kind of work before.
And that'll predominantly be more of a video of me showing you guys what I've done in the past to do it. And it's time consuming and it's very aggravating and very very mentally tiring. But the finished product of the simple little thing is absolutely phenomenal, and it's something that you can't really buy. I mean, you can buy it from Walthers, because they make just about everything, but you can't buy what we'll be making for the money that we're going to make it for.
Well, that's the thing, guys. There's something about when you actually make and create something on your own instead of buying it from a manufacturer. Now, manufacturers are amazing, and I'm all for it. There's some things I'd rather just buy and put on the layout. But there's the reward of building something, creating something yourself, is far more. What's the word?
Rewarding.
Well, definitely rewarding. Yes, definitely rewarding. And
And if you guys want to see it too, like, I can teach you, or we can show you how to build scratch-made coal loads for hopper cars or coal cars, out of blue foam and small materials. Stuff that looks very realistic and convincing as far as looking like something that you'd buy from the manufacturers. Because that's what we're all after. We want something that looks realistic and is convincing. So we want to be able to, take a picture of something on our model railroads and trick people into thinking it's real. And I come from a background of doing that with RC cars, rock crawlers and stuff like that. So, if you can make the details so nice and so believable that you can take a picture, and with little to no editing, people can't tell the difference between whether it's an HO scale model or a real life locomotive or train.
like these are what 4x4s, like give or take, like realistically,
That would be more like a railroad tie.
railroad ties. So that's the railroad tie size. And that's actually the size we actually use. You know what we use that for? For re-railing cars and locomotives. What we use for. And so this is something just made out of wood and just placed on the layout somewhere. Easy, simple.
And that's just bare. You'll weather it down and paint it and make it look like it's a nice old tie. And like I said, it goes back to just being something that is convincing without being, being real.
Let's see. Do you have another brush somewhere? There's a cheap brush. If not, I think.
Oh, I think
Oh,
there's
here we
a
go.
foam
Here we
brush
go.
over
Then
there.
there it is. Yeah. Here's some details people forget. Spray the top of that. Some of this ground.
Mossy roof.
Yeah. Well, here it is. That's it. Just something on top of that. Okay, now we'll come back.
You know, don't be afraid. Like you see that this kind of looks like a big puddle. You know, by the time you get everything on it, you get a significant a good amount of cover on it. You won't get a pooling effect like what you're seeing with the glue now. But you got to get a good base down so the glue likes to spread out, and you get good coverage. You know, you don't want to have a lake of the stuff, but you know, a little bit of a puddle, you know, could work really well.
Oops, not what I wanted to do.
Joey doing what he does best, derailing cars.
Hey, never derail the car in real life.
That's good. Derailing cars in real life is expensive.
More and more expensive than a model.
Yeah, I mean, we look at things, you know,
Okay.
like that. Don't be afraid to cut up the models either. Especially if you get them cheap.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And now you can see how backed up everything is on that side of the layout. Yeah, see, we'll show you a little bit. We're talking about layers. Joey can attest, like this is with a little bit of his inspiration. You know, all that is done in layers, and that looks very realistic. And that's the first time I weather a car.
Yeah, it came out nice. That thing was way too white when we first brought on the layout.
Brand new. But what do you expect from a $5 car and a Home Depot?
What are you doing? What? What are you doing?
There we go. Okay. So is the road going out this way?
No,
And
the
this?
road goes from here. It goes straight back.
Okay, so all of this now is getting painted. Okay.
Right.
Well,
that is
glued.
where I had where I had the water tower or the water tanks.
Yeah.
Is all. I scooted them down so I could make room for that road.
Right.
That way, I could use a little bit of forced perspective on the road and make the road look like it went off into the distance. And that's what I think Jimmy might do in a video one day, doing a diorama or something, using forced perspective in order to add depth. You know, you can make a 4 to 8 inch wide, you know, piece of layout look like it's miles and miles long with a little bit of creative perspective. You know, maybe the use of a mirror or something of that nature.
Okay. Oh, it's up here. Yes, I was saying earlier, we're going to be collaborating, both of us and another gentleman in Nashville, Tennessee, on writing an article on railroad operations, how to add simple operations to your model railroad. I mean, since we both have railroad experience.
And quite honestly, like me and Joey have operated this. I actually think the second night we had power up and running, we did a small operating session. We didn't even do a simple set outs and pickups, and I think it took us a good hour.
90 minutes. 90, hour 20 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes, something like that.
Just to do simple set outs, because we've added, because some of the details we're going to add that you guys will see later on in other videos, you'll see how you can turn something that's 10 foot wide or 10 foot wide and 16 inches deep and get a lot of operational fun out of it, because we're going to add details such as like, derails and swing gates and so on and so forth, stuff that you as an operator will have to actually operate and open up gates and disconnect derails. We're even going to play around with setting handbrakes and signifying ways to set handbrakes, blue flags for protection, stuff like that. That way you can ring every minute and second out of an operating session and make things challenging but yet still fun. So I'm really hoping that this turns out half as good as what we have in our heads, because I think it'll be a really fun railroad to operate, and hopefully one day, maybe you guys will be here operating it.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about, is enjoying it with good friends.
Yeah, and just if you're in the Northwest Arkansas area, just drop us a line. You can contact me at TOTB Model Weathering, either our email for Yahoo or Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and we'll set something up, because I'm going to be working on an N-scale layout and O-scale diorama and an HO diorama. In a line, actually in N-scale layout. So never worked in N-scale before. I've done some operating sessions, but I've never actually built an N-scale layout before. The track came in, we got the foam today. So that's gonna be fun.
I'm literally just going to look at your locomotive and go, my finger's bigger.
Oh yeah.
And one thing too, if you guys see something or have an idea, or if there's something that you'd like to see or like to learn about, and something we can do in the video, hit like you said, shoot us a message at TOTB, and maybe we can put something together. I have a lot of experience doing like graffiti work and stuff like that on HO scale. I'm continuing to learn weathering. Scratch building is something that literally just I do in my spare time whenever I feel like making something, or I don't feel like paying enough money to buy something. Because let's face it, building structures are expensive. We may have some videos on that. But yeah, if you guys ever have something you want to see, shoot us a message. I'm sure we could probably figure out a way to either do a live stream or just put out a video on how we do something. That way, hopefully, we can show you guys an easy way to accomplish what you're looking to do.
And also, I do have a Patreon page, and if you want to join a Patreon, whatever that donations are brought to the channel will go towards these videos, into equipment, into supplies, materials, so you guys can learn. That's what the Patreon is for. It's to support you guys back. And also, if you join my Patreon and you have you're on your weathering project, you'll get 10% off the total amount. So yeah, if it's $100, you get $10 off on your project. So become a weather member on my Patreon, and anything you want weathered, 10% off, right on the total amount.
And just look about anything on this layout. It's all been done by Joey. He does phenomenal work.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I weathered the track too.
Yeah,
Almost forgot. I weathered the track. Where's the... Oh, way back here.
We're working, and now all of a sudden all the material is spread out.
Yeah, spread everywhere. We're actually back down here. No, not really. It's way... All right. Let me...
He's trying to give you guys Scott perspective.
Yeah.
Look upon thee, small tiny citizen. For you are puny, and we shall smite thee. The train. Sorry, a lawnmower is getting moved out of the driveway. Really, it's a Honda Civic, but
Juiced up.
Yeah.
It does incredible work.
it's a very nice car. Joe, our friend Joe, and you might see some of his stuff. He does phenomenal work. He's got a lot of years
Unbelievable.
building hot rods,
I'm glad he got it to work.
and RC cars, and actually, yeah, you know that car that you just heard take off. You know, that car a month ago was 6 foot underwater. We were unfortunately were in a flood, and he took it from being completely underwater to having it running again, which is awesome. Go Honda.
Yeah.
At least
Okay.
early 90s Honda.
All right. Where's your building? Up there? I can put it back.
The
The towers.
oh,
Is this to the left?
that one's the right side.
Right. Right here?
Yeah, something like that.
Something interesting about Italy. Did you realize the king was in Italy? The one that brings back the
Okay.
disease.
There we go. Now, if we want a little bit of perspective here, guys. Bear with me. I mean, we're spread out.
Was actually probably smart. I just realized that.
So, we're going to
And he was also
start cleaning the stuff off here and show you what the track is going to look like. Well, the layout, excuse me, with the track. I haven't gotten this far ever in a long time with my layouts. And so, I love building, as you can tell. Now, this track has been weathered using camouflage brown spray paint, and also weathered with acrylics and a little bit of oil paints. Let's see here. Can't do that. Where is my little shaker bottle? Here it is. And so the next step after cleaning is wiping the track off, cleaning in between the switch points. Just obvious cleaning that everybody has to do. I mean, we want the trains to run right. If we can clean this up fast, we may get a locomotive out of here running. And I gotta look for the slides here. Excuse me, I'm gonna move it this way now. All right, there we go. All right, let's clean this stuff up here. And I think my face is over here. There I am. Over here.
It's like a 2.5 second delay.
It is. The other another section of the layout we're gonna do another time, or do it tonight, but the part won't be on video. We want to get the bulk of the layout at least visible for everybody. Back right up. One thing about this tape, Johnny, it's pulling up.
The track?
Yeah.
Well, that's because we don't have the track glued down.
Oh yeah, we don't have to go down. That's right.
Yeah, one thing that you'll notice as he's pulling that up as the track is coming up, I literally have the track held down with push pins that you can bend over. Another way I figured out how to do things without spending money. It holds the track in place until you put scenery on it and ballast, and then you glue all that stuff down and it holds the track in place. It allows a little bit of flex too, so it's not too bad. Yeah, when you just have it, when you pull straight up on it, sometimes it lifts the track too.
Oh, come on. There we go. This stuff is sticky, but not sticky like it's sticky not because of the adhesive underneath the tape, but from all the adhesives on top of the tape. Well, that's gonna look nice with ballast too now. Oh, dude, this section right here, man, it looks awesome from up here.
I can only see it in two perspectives right now.
I know. We'll get there.
My perspective and the lighter's perspective. But I just wanted to,
Well, that's good we do that, because in case anybody comments, you can at least see it.
So far, I don't have any comments, but like I said, guys, I know there's only a couple of you there, and we appreciate you hanging out with us as long as you have. Whether it's just something ambient noise in the background or something you're adamantly watching, I know we both enjoy it. We both enjoy having you. So if you guys have any questions, yeah, just feel free to throw them in the chat. Any questions about scenery or anything in the future plans or how to do something, yeah, put them in the chat.
Or if there are techniques that you guys have that may work better or work for you guys for your layouts.
Yeah, we'd love to know.
Yeah, we'd love to know because, there's nothing here hasn't been done before. Nothing here is new. And it is just one perspective or just somebody's idea. And as a model railroaders, I always firmly believe that sharing in the hobby is what makes the hobby fantastic, just amazing community of people. Okay. Oh man, dude, this section looks awesome. That looks nice too. But
Too bad all my cars are in my storage unit.
what cars?
My HO scale cars.
Oh yeah. I'll grab them later on.
We need some roadway anyways.
Yeah.
Until then, we'll just little bit more of a video on when we talk about doing some scratch building. We'll do a video on scratch building the rest of this.
What is the, oh, I need paper towel for cleaning the track. Oh, and it's right there. Right under my nose, literally under my nose. And yes.
But yeah, we'll do. You can see that there's a little bit of a fascia down there with the green warehouse. We'll do a video if you guys like on how we build the rest of that out. You know, obviously you see it needs a roof and some sides. But yeah, it's like I said, if that's something you guys want to see, we can do that. You know, I may start contributing a little bit here and there. You know, as Joey wants. You know, in no way am I good at any of this, but sometimes I build stuff that looks cool. So
He underrates himself because he is a really good structure builder. Something I don't have that skill, and I learned a lot from him already. Just watching or just looking at some of the stuff he built. And him and his wife both, right? Both work together.
Me and the wife, we worked together for a solid, probably like a month. We had a little business going where we were building. I posted a picture of a Blockbuster that I built at HO scale, and everybody lost their mind. And it turned into a business for about a month, and then it got to the point where we were so many people wanting them, between the Blockbusters and the Pizza Huts, the Valvoline oil change places, AutoZones, Days. Heck, we even did a scale Walmart.
That was also, was that HO and
Yeah,
scale?
it was HO scale.
Jeez. Oh, guys,
It wasn't.
I can't.
It wasn't true scale because I told the guy literally if you wanted to build a super Walmart true scale, it's going to be 4 foot wide, and he didn't have 4 foot by 4 foot to dedicate to it, so we scaled it down a bit, but it still looked right. But yeah, for about a solid month, we did that, and it was come home from work and go back to work, and that's when it becomes not necessarily fun, but we're going to do some more of it, and we may have some structures that we may sell. We're not sure yet, but we'll at least get some videos on how we scratch build and the materials that we scratch build with, because it's all stuff you can buy at a Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, he showed me a bunch of stuff that he uses, and I was dumbfounded. Like that's what you're using. So yeah, we'll check this out. Oh man, that's cool. Same with this. I mean, guys, all we used here, only 2-3 things that were synthetic of this entire project, that as far as scenery is concerned, was the foam, the polyfiber, or the foam tufts, the polyfiber, excuse me, and a little bit of little grass in the edges here, and a little bit of grass here, but everything else was natural and real rock and real, rock and gravel and leaves. That's it.
And if we do, scale coal loads, we'll actually be doing it with real coal.
Yeah, we actually have real coal.
Yeah, we have real sifted and crushed coal. Because when you can use the real stuff, why not? Or more like when the real stuff is cheaper than the synthetic stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing, isn't it? If you want to clean,
But we're not going to lay real concrete down here for roadways. So
the heck no, or asphalt. Up from this crossing up to the cars. I think that's what I pretty much. Anyway, you see scenery. Yeah, just to clean the rails. And now I'm going with. What am I using? Oh, the tape is over here. A little bit of rubbing alcohol. Clean a track up right here. Some old blue foam that we cut out randomly. Okay.
Super clean there on the main.
Good. Good stuff. Give me some cars from the top that we took off. Because after this, we gotta get some scenery photos. Oh my god, I want to do 2 hours. Jeez.
I can't see it up there.
Okay. I heard no shirt on the barbecue sauce. What for your lady fish? This is smacking.
Scoot it back.
You can? Oh, you can. Was a little more scenery back there? Oh, here we go. Okay.
That was in where the Santa Fe car is.
Okay.
All the way down that.
Ha. These are what, Pico switches?
Yeah, Pico snap switches, code 100.
Yeah, you fix this console. This is the main line right here.
Yeah, that's what you doing there. Slide this down on
That's the runaround. That's gonna go into the transload team track. Okay. So it look like a layout now.
for the crashing cars and the like the fugitive here too.
The wench has spoken. Notice that? What's it sound like? Oh.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. One switch. You got all these Pico snap switches. Oh gosh, they're great.
Did you stop already? Stop with the crush that. Sorry, well, Godzilla's over here trying to put trucks in bushes off camera.
Something like that. I want to power it up. See what we got. I'll put those cars down there and roll them this way too.
Yeah, well, these just stuff I'd sit on the main line.
Oh, well actually, take these. It's actually look better than that one car.
Just take that one off.
Yep. Transload, right? Yes. Thank you. Ooh. Ooh. Corn products. Okay, you got that. Oh yeah, these two. Guess that's gonna go on the main line. I mean, yard doesn't really look this crowded all the time.
No. No, a lot of this we switch on and off the layout, but sometimes you just want to change it up and throw everything you got on there.
I'm gonna turn it up and see how everything's running. We have to clean the track more, I'm sure, and the switches a little bit. Yeah. Now this is a Spectrum of ESU look sound, but the older look sound, which doesn't have Keep Alive in it. So we're gonna add Keep Alive in that locomotive. All right, 2 over the switch. 1 more. Half. 10 feet. That's good. So I can tell my train master, say, look, I worked today as well. I worked on this. I don't want to work. Line in the back 4 hook. 4 to a joint. So yeah, these little scenery with this little operating session test just to test out the track. 2. 1. Oh,
That goes right back to cleaning the track.
right back to clean track. Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Delicate hand that's broken.
Let's see here. Yeah. Try to go a little fast over, see what happens. Again, it doesn't have the people alive. Huh. This dies right. Oh, no, there was some power. Try now. No.
We're still got power.
Huh. Interesting. Alright, so we're gonna clean that track and that side. No one's favorite thing is clean the track. Now you know this. Okay. Oh, I know why. I see it right here. There's that spot right there. Full of that, full of foam and rock. Where is your? I need the rubbing alcohol. What do you have your daughter operating on here?
Huh?
Your daughter's gonna be ecstatic
Oh
operating
yeah.
on
Yeah,
this.
she's gonna flip. Of course, she just likes to honk the horn.
That's okay. Yeah, I do too. It's nice being the KCS engine. Wait. Oh no, wait. It's like a regular horn knob, but it's a real K5LA or
Right.
one of those. It's loud and it has an original mechanical bell to it. So anytime if we're running that locomotive in the middle of our consist, yeah, it's fun. All right, let's try it again. All right, so let's bring the cars to the main line. There we go. Back up 3 cars over the switch, or to clear the switch. One more. Half. And keep going. Good. I'll have the tool. I'll take it ahead. Did that track always give you issues? No? Because I know you have some dead spots here.
We've had some dead spots since we weathered it, but that's because we're literally running this entire layout right now off of 3 power jacks.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to bring the new feeders for you. Also, HobbyLink, guys, has derailleurs. $3.19 for 3 of them. I understand.
Nope.
No?
Looks like
Maybe you're gonna need a. I wonder why. The track is clean. Oh, here we go. Look. Was it the switch? Oh, it's the switch. We got to put feeder wires on the other sides. Good. Take it ahead. We gotta clip those air hoses off a little bit. One more. Half. Take it over the crossing. Half the car. That'll do. Alright, line from the main back to a joint. Crossing's protected. I should have said that. One. Half. 10 feet. Good. Stretch. There we go. Good joint. Alright, shove it back. Shove it back one, clear. Half. 10 feet. Good. Take it ahead over the switch. You got a crossing there. So now we remember that now. Now you got a crossing there. We got to remember to blow for that for the op sessions. Half and good. Right here. Alright. Line in. Point from the ground, point ground, shove it back, 3 to a cut. Come on. Yeah, we gotta definitely need some feeders in there. 2. Got stuck on something. 1. Half. Good. Alright, ahead, main. Crossing. There it goes. Good. Back 3 to a joint. Two. 1. Half. 10 feet. 5. Good. Stretch. Make sure it's a good joint. Good joint. I'll do. Red zone. Right. Can't move. Stop. Signal. Right. Check the air. Check your brakes. Walk the train 3 times. Check the rear. Shows your air going all the way through. Good brake test. Good leakage on the 6108. Ahead main line. So guys, I really appreciate it, and that will conclude this live video. We will have more. Hopefully, we're going to try to do this, well, at least once a week, maybe?
Maybe.
If not twice a month. And look forward to videos of my dioramas, of the O-scale diorama. There's also going to be an HO diorama. I am building an N-scale layout as well, so John's going to be helping me with all this stuff. So we're going to be working together on a lot of these projects. If you guys are in the Northwest Arkansas region, which is like Rogers, Fayetteville, Springdale, Bentonville, in the area, or if you're outside in Tulsa, you want to come this way, it's only 2 hours away. Just drop a line to us and drop a line to me with Touch of the Brush Model Weathering, and come join us. Come have fun, have a good time here with these layouts. And if you want to learn some stuff hands-on, you're more than welcome to help us build these layouts as well. So guys, take care. Thank you. Have a blessed weekend.